A few months ago, I made a video on alternate bosses in Shadow Generations covering skins for the Biolizard, Metal Overlord, and Mephiles. Black Doom doesn't have any mods yet, which is fairly unsurprising, honestly. There's not a lot of wiggle room for his rig and model. On the flip side, you know who had the most skins at that time? To some it may seem obvious, but it was actually Metal Overlord. You know, big watery dragon guy who's also Metal Sonic and from the GameCube era of games. Makes sense when you put it that way, doesn't it? And while it was cool to see a bunch of stuff from Metal Overlord, since he hadn't actually returned pretty much literally ever besides the comics, Mephiles was my pick for coolest boss in this game, and there wasn't a whole lot for him out at the time, besides one skin from Sonic Forces Speed Battle, which is actually the #1 mod I did want for him. His fight is just the most satisfying to me, man. I'll never forget my initial reactions to him, and you can't either because it's immortalized.
Mephiles! Mephiles! Yes!
And because of how satisfying it is to finally have Mephiles in a brand new game, I'm always keeping my eyes peeled for new skins. There's been plenty of ones since Oni Mephiles dropped, and the trio I'm showing off today are all from the same person. These are the Shade Mephiles variants, which each have their own voice lines, seals, and of course, models. The voice lines are neat because that extra level of detail avoids this content feeling jarring when placed into the normal base game. I also like that the designs themselves are directly based off of other characters that Mephiles actually could have stolen his physical form from. I think the most interesting one here is probably Shade Sonic. Imagine Sonic in Shadow's shoes during 06, especially considering how Mephiles and Sonic embrace the exact opposite types of energy. And that being said, let's drop right into his stage gate where I got the boys waiting for me as per usual, man. More multiplayer mod action as always. This is the only way I play the game now. I love how giddy they are, because they know what's about to happen. I popped in the Discord and I'm like, guys, it's time to beat up Mephiles. Oh wow, the stage gate is even different. I didn't notice that until right now, actually. Everyone else is probably gonna skip the cutscenes, but I gotta show this, dude. That is not the Light Gaia bracelet. That's the Dark Gaia bracelet. Man, connecting Mephiles with Dark Gaia low-key works so well, and there's absolutely no way they could have planned around that. Like, Mephiles is literally made of darkness, the negative aura. Also, I love that you can see all the other people, like, running around fighting the boss during the cutscene, and here he is, Shade Sonic. It's so interesting seeing the Mephiles textures and, like, the bloodshot eyes, the no-mouth action, on a character that has the same quills and ears as Sonic, the friendly guy that I know for smiling. Yeah, so that's a thing with the multiplayer mod, is that whenever you get a notification message of someone joining or leaving, it actually cuts off any dialogue regardless, and part of me kind of hopes they don't fix that because it's really, really funny. It's like they're just getting shut up for no reason.
The ultimate game of shadow tag.
So, this mod is pretty cool because somebody actually went and did a custom Shade Sonic voice for this character and replicated a lot of Mephiles' normal lines, but also tweaked the script to fit, like, their headcanon for this version of Mephiles, or Shade Sonic, or whatever you want to call it. So that's pretty neat. There is actually a additional patch that you usually have to add so that the text works, but I didn't really have the time to do it when I recorded this.
I get to see your face, Hedgehog.
I get to see your face, Hedgehog. I don't know why, but that line is kind of even cooler because I'm playing as Tyrios. Because he actually looks like Sonic more than he looks like Shadow, and he's a dark mirror of Sonic, similar to how I guess Shade Sonic is also a dark mirror of Sonic. I think it's cool too that with the custom voice lines, they even did like the individual hurt lines. Like when you are doing the spam punches and kicks with the Doom Blast on Mephiles, sorry, Shade Sonic, still not used to that. When you're doing the Doom Blast on him, he actually does grunts while he's being hit. And I've said it before in my original playthrough video when I got to Mephiles boss fight. I think it's so cool fighting somebody that's like the same physical size as you. Look how cool this is, by the way. People Doom morphing like in a circle around me while I'm mid cutscene. I don't know, something about that is just so much more engaging than regularly watching the cutscene with like a skin mod or whatever. I don't know, it's just so cool to see people also playing in real time while I'm in the middle of like the most epic fight in the game. But yeah, so no, I think it's really cool that you're fighting somebody that's the same size as you. It's like you have to dance around each other instead of just dodging big man attacks like you would with Metal Overlord and Devil Doom. And of course, right as I say that, we get the devil form of Mephiles. Oh, and by the way, I popped off so hard the first time I realized what this model was. It's the Time Eater, dude! I had no idea they could even repurpose the Time Eater model for this. And that actually, like, low-key makes sense as well, because I think at one point there was, like, a loose theory that the Time Eater was, like, a piece of Mephiles, because, you know, Solaris is, like, a time and space deity. So, I mean, I don't know if that theory was referenced in any way, shape, or form, but I think it's so cool that they changed the Devil Doom model. Man, and again, like, how cool is it seeing this dark version of Sonic as Tyrios beat up this evil dark version of Sonic? I don't know. It's just so cool. I actually didn't plan this. I was just already using Tyrios because I was recording a different video that came out the other day. I love that you can hear people all make attack spam in the back. That being said, we are moving on to another Shade boss, but I knew the exact person I had to play for this. Of course, it is Rouge. So this is actually like a real Rouge mod, kind of. It's made by Kanzu Kiryu, who did the Amy Jump Ball Overhaul mod, which is a phenomenal mod. Kanzu Kiryu also made the Cream and Rouge mods for Sonic Frontiers, and I think the Rouge mod over Knuckles is like perfectly well done. I really like that whenever she's running around in this mod, she like flies with her wings. And her scepter is the bomb from 06. Yeah, Lucas just crouch spamming in the middle of the cutscene. I love that. Like, that's so funny. Like, people can just mess around and get goofy while I'm recording stuff. Like, that's what I love about this mod. Also, you may not have immediately noticed, but every single one of the little imps has bat wings, and I think this model is low-key like the best one, dude. The stylization is crazy. Those bloodshot eyes are more piercing than ever. They're so huge. I love how the inside of the ears look with like the purple veins.
You shouldn't have come here.
Also, this voice is directly taken from the Batman Arkham games, I believe.
Feeling the pressure?
The voice lines in this mod are actually kind of like chilling and intimidating, which is not something I actually expected when I played this.
Are you ready? I'll choke the life out of you.
There's something about how Shade Rouge's voice is almost like hesitating with speaking fast, like she's speaking slow, methodically, almost zombified, and it really fits like this weird creature that she is. On top of all of it, like her voice lines are equal parts morbid and seductive. Also, that's a really interesting like kick attack animation for her. I didn't realize that would be changed as well. That's what I really like about Kanzu Kiryu's mods, is they always accurately replace every animation they need to better fit the personality of whatever character it is, whether it's like Rouge or Cream or something like that. The like creepy misty sound effects that accompany the background of the voice is really good, dude. It sounds like a ghost that's haunting you. I like that because it's like she is supposed to be talking to Shadow, and it's like, you know, if you're taking a version of Rouge's appearance and you're mimicking a piece of her personality, that's even more mocking. But of course, we're just playing Rouge versus Rouge right now. Also, dude, that voice fits this scene so perfectly. Like, they found the most clever, perfectly fitting voice lines scattered throughout those Arkham games for something that not only fits Mephiles' personality, but like the tone of Rouge. Like, I just really enjoy these mods, like seeing the different takes on how each of these characters look as a Mephiles variant, because one of the #1 things I love about Mephiles is how he's like equal parts like stitched up and veiny and like crystallized, dude. Oh yeah, also the Chaos Control SOG has changed. That's actually a configurable option in the mod. You can change what the theme is. Also, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the devil form also has wings and extra armor on the arms. I didn't realize how much detail they put into all of the devil forms. And here we are at the very finale. I love how, like, they carefully spun. Also, I like how they changed, like, Mephiles' blade to be a unique weapon for this Rouge variant as well, and it's not the last time we're gonna see a unique weapon. Dude, it's just the way that most of her body is like a black-gray, and then only like tiny bits are lit up with the pinkish purple. And the fact that it's more pink than purple compared to Mephiles himself is just so fitting for Rouge. Also, I love how often Shadow's animations use kicks in this fight, because it also fits Rouge's model pretty well.
There is no future for you. Ever.
That's not actually Rouge speaking in that tone. That's just Shadow's voice haunting her every thought. And here we are with Shade Silver. You'll notice this seal looks a lot like Galahad's weapon. See, I enjoy this because it would not be very obvious which seal you would want to choose for Silver, but they chose something that looks kind of like the same shape as a scepter, and, you know, it comes from ancient times-ish, kind of. Like from medieval times. It looks old, it's got engravings on it, and boom bada bing! He looks so fitting with the Mephiles textures. And I don't know, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like the quill proportions on this version of Silver look very accurate to Sonic 06 specifically. I like that you saw a player, like, chaos snap out of there. Also, I'm playing Zombot Shadow from IDW, because, hey, I mean, I just thought if we were doing a video based on, like, freaking screwed up, twisted versions of characters, it's like, hey, why not go with, like, the literal canon time that he turned into a zombie? God, I just love how wiggly Silver's long tendril quills are, man. Also, Zombot Shadow has a little bit of an issue where his after effects stay solid on screen. I made a point of trying to damage the shade variants in every way I could instead of just, like, playing the fight normally, because I wanted to get every possible angle I could of these models. I do think the stylization on Rouge makes her my favorite design, but I feel like out of what makes the most sense, it's definitely Silver, because, you know, Silver was being manipulated by Mephiles, and it's just like, I don't know, I kind of like how thematically you could almost headcanon. What if Silver got, like, way too close to Mephiles and, like, just listened to everything he said? Like, I don't know, Mephiles very well could have stole his identity, too. And I don't know, like, 06 designs in general just kind of have the same bizarre design choices where everybody is very pointy and edgy looking. Like, Mephiles has the quills of Shadow, but it has even more points on the extra bits of stray quills. Silver has, like, 5 quills just on his forehead, not even counting the giant ones in the back. I just love how over-the-top 06 designs are, and I think the textures fit him really well. It's so cool to me as well how many different, like, camera angles there are that give you close-ups to this character, because like I said, he's smaller body, so it's really neat that we get to see such detailed shots of the new Mephiles model, both vanilla and whenever he gets a modded skin. I really like that you can see other players' effects in multiplayer mode, because it was so cool seeing the Chaos Snap VFX in the sky while I was fighting this guy. I want to say this devil form is also altered. It kind of looks a little bit like Solaris in parts, where it's like translucent in the middle. I'm not 100% sure. Oh, no, it's Iblis, right? It's supposed to be Iblis. But the translucent part reminded me of Solaris. That's kind of clever, actually, considering that Silver was the one that was trying to defeat Iblis the whole time. There's something so weird about seeing someone take the shape of Silver, getting chaos controlled, and then getting their ass beat with a roundhouse kick by someone shaped like Shadow. Makes you think of that one cutscene, doesn't it? I like the concept of, like, a frenzied Zombot Shadow still being able to take on Mephiles' imps, because he's just very strong in his base form anyway, even if he can't think tactically. Also, another thing I really like about Zombot Shadow is his, like, really long nails. Also, one of my favorite attacks that Mephiles has is when you try Doom Blasting him too much and he actually, like, parries you and hits you back with the sword. I don't know, like, I just think Shade Silver has the most aura, but I guess Shade Rouge is probably the most aesthetically pleasing in my opinion. And like the torso shape of him, it just reminds me of the torso shape of every 06 model. I'm not kidding, like when I realized that we had a chance of seeing Mephiles or Infinite in Shadow Generations, I made a tweet and I was like, dude, if I get in, I'm going to fight them every single day of my life once the game is out. I don't know, it's really cool seeing these skins over him because his aura is like the most like Dragon Ball that you're going to get in a one-on-one boss fight in a modern Sonic game. Because again, it's just small body versus small body. Like they just box each other. It's so cool. And this mod is just so cool, man, because they do different things with the lore. They change the writing, the dialogue lines. They change what the seal looks like to better represent the character. Like I will never stop thinking about Dark Gaia bracelet. Like the implied lore that you could get out of that is so fun. But that being said, I like to cover platforming content, both fan-made and official, and if you like what you saw here today, consider checking out my Sonic modding playlist, as I have many other videos like this.